it's Lorna, and I just wanted to make a quick video, well hopefully quick, spreading maybe a bit of positivity to do with how I've come to terms with my diagnosis of PoTS, and what, I guess, how I think about it, because I'm quite conscious of the fact that I've shared a bit of my journey, and a lot of it is probably like rants about how long the process is to get diagnosed and how frustrating it is, and all of that is true. Like, it is very difficult to come to terms with any kind of illness, like especially chronic illness, in that, like, you find that you can't do all the things that you used to love to do, or you have to find different ways to I guess. Like, obviously PoTS was and is and still is a lot to come to terms with, and I think the way I was thinking about it at the time is that I could have felt really hard done by. It could have felt really unfair, in that I had just come from like a mental health admission from hospital. Like, I was already, PoTS was already in the mix, but maybe I wasn't so concerned about it because how I was feeling mentally kind of took precedence over that. So yeah, I'd just come out of a mental health admission. I felt like I had turned my life around. I was feeling so much more positive and motivated and enthusiastic about my life. There were so many things that I wanted to do, and it did feel at times that my body was letting me down, and maybe like from other people's reactions, in terms of, I still do have like people who say, I'm really sorry that this has happened. I'm really sorry that you have these symptoms. I'm not saying the symptoms aren't bad, because they are. They can be horrible. They have a huge impact on my life. But I found it quite odd to hear people saying, oh, I'm really sorry that this has happened, because I don't feel like that. I'm kind of like, why? I'm not sorry. And yeah, so I kind of felt like I could have felt really hard done by, but I didn't. And I guess the way I saw it is that there are still like so many things I wanted to do, kind of travelling related, or places I wanted to go, or things I wanted to do. And I can still do all that. It's just I've got to find a way to do it. I'm actually quite a big believer that things tend to happen for a reason. And the way I see it is that maybe I was like hit with the reality of PoTS symptoms becoming a lot worse after hospital, because I was in the right frame of mind to deal with it. I was in a more positive mindset, so maybe it was all supposed to happen that way. Like, I like to think that maybe this has happened for a reason. Like, maybe God, the universe, or whoever upstairs sent me PoTS to teach me something. Maybe because you're only faced with things that you're able to deal with, and maybe it taught me to slow down a bit, because maybe I'd spent too much of my life trying to live in the fast lane. And also, like, I feel like having PoTS has taught me to appreciate more the things that I can do rather than the things that I can't. And it may feel that PoTS limits me in many ways, and it does, but it also has led me to do things that I didn't think I would do. Like, it's led me to share my journey with others, learn more and have more of an understanding and appreciation of invisible illness and chronic illness and like hidden disabilities, and it's led me to do this, which is something I hadn't really imagined me doing, like making videos and talking. I wasn't ever much of a talker before. Going along the lines of it all happening for a reason, I think maybe I was sent PoTS to kind of learn to have a reason to actually learn to accept help of other people, because I was fiercely independent and I didn't like to be vulnerable in front of people, but it kind of gave me no choice to let people in and accept help, and that was really important for me. And through having PoTS, I've learnt to be, I guess, more assertive. It's a big learning curve, but I have found that I just have to be more honest with people about what I can do and what I can't do, and when I might need an adjustment for something. And I guess PoTS gave me the reason to do that and push myself in that way. I think a lot of thinking positively about any form of chronic illness is it entails a degree of radical acceptance, accepting things for what it is. I find it quite difficult when other people say, oh, I hope you feel better soon, or they assume that I'm feeling better because they've seen that I've gone out somewhere or something like that. And I'm quite aware that PoTS isn't something that, it may well improve, and I'll do anything to try and improve my quality of life, improve the symptoms, but I think I have come to an acceptance that it is what it is, and I'm not going to suddenly feel a lot better. It would be wonderful if I did, and I know PoTS sometimes can just improve by itself. It'd be great if that happened, but I'm not so sure. And I guess the way I see it is that you have to come to an acceptance for to accept it for what it is, and it's more about finding a way to manage it and live with it. And I would say that PoTS has only made me more determined in that I don't give up, and I just see this as another challenge that I have to find a way to be able to achieve all the things that I want to do, but just by bearing it in mind and finding a way to make things possible. Something I did recently was, which you might have seen on my Instagram because I'm currently uploading pictures from it, is that I went on a solo trip away to London because in the past I've always been a very independent person who's quite happy in her own company, and I used to go on these little 2 to 3 day trips away on my own to places generally around the UK. I don't really go further afield than that, and since having PoTS I was kind of feeling oh, I might not be able to do that, or I might have to get things more settled or sorted or find a way to do it, but I really carefully thought out the trip and I paced myself, and I was very symptomatic at times, but I guess the point is that I managed it. I had to make it more minimal in places, but it really did wonders for my confidence to be able to still do the things that I used to enjoy, but just having to make adjustments and find a way to do it and still be able to enjoy myself. And I think it's important to feel just don't let anything like that hold you back. I know I'm saying all this and it all sounds really positive, and in general this is how I think about it, but I'm not going to lie, and sometimes I do have down days and I get frustrated with my symptoms, especially with how it makes me so tired doing things that I wouldn't know in the past have even thought about. So yeah, I can get down about it. I think that's normal, it's perfectly understandable, but at the same time my general overall feeling is that this isn't a disaster. It could be an awful lot worse, and I'm more trying to focus on what can I learn through this, or what has this brought to my life, and I see that it's brought quite a lot of things as far as I can see, and can bring a lot more. I hope that this has been helpful in some ways, or that some of what I've said has made sense if you're in a similar position. The main message is that at least what's helped me, is that I've always thought of it of, okay, this has come, like, I've been hit with this chronic illness at a time in my life where I'm quite young, and I'm really motivated and I've got so many things I want to do, but I've kind of accepted that, and I've also kind of come to this determination that I'm not going to let it defeat me. It's just about finding a way to, I can still do all the things that I've ever wanted to do. I've just got to find a way to do it, and I believe that's something that anybody can do. I hope you found this helpful, and I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts and how you think about your chronic illness, or if you're watching this from more of just like a wanting to know more kind of perspective, or a carer's perspective. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts as well. Thank you for taking the time to watch this, and I hope it's helped in some way. Hopefully talk soon. Bye.